everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to submit your Android application onto the Google Play Store. So to start off, you go to google.com and you enter in Play Store submission. Then you hit the first link. This takes you to this page, which will be in the description box. And essentially, you click on this button right here, Play Console. This will take you to the portal to be able to create a Google Console developer account. So the first step is to essentially make sure that you're logged in the right Google account to which you want to link to your Play Console developer account. Once you've made sure of that, you essentially choose what type of developer account you want to create. So it can either be a organization or it could be a personal account. So if you want to create a organization type of account, you'll need what is called a DUNS number. You'll need to go to dnb.com, and this organization essentially will attribute you a DUNS number. So it's an entire process of itself, and I won't be going into the details of how to create a DUNS number. Between setting up a personal account and a organization type of account will firstly depend on the type of application that you will be submitting to the Google Play Store. There are some types of apps that I'll be discussing shortly that require you to register as an organization. Now, the differences between the two types of accounts, between personal and organization: firstly, for personal, you will not need a DUNS number. And then you'll be prompted to create a Google Payments profile, and you'll be required to essentially submit a government ID. Whereas for a type of organization, you'll need a DUNS, and also for your Google Payments profile, you'll need the DUNS number. Now, if you are not a organization and the application is under some type of government entity, you'll need to contact Google support in order to provide either an official government identity document or a official organization document. So in my case, I can go ahead and start and create a personal account. So I click Get Started. So here Google is essentially telling us some important aspects when we'll be creating our entry in the Google Play Store. So firstly, they're saying that the email provided will be shown. Then a phone number and another email will also be required and will be verified to essentially be hidden and also be used to be a contact point for the app in terms of technicalities. And then finally, they're mentioning that we'll need to pay a $24 registration fee. So we can hit continue. Create a developer name. So this will be displayed in the Google Play Store and essentially will be used just to associate our identity essentially to the apps that we have displayed on the Google Play Store. Hit next. Create a Google developer account. You'll need a associated Google Payments profile. So here we're prompted to create one, and essentially they're mentioning that it's required to manage all the apps and elements that we need as a developer. We're given the option between linking our Google payment profile to our developer account if we do have a payment profile already, or we can select to create a new payment profile. So depending on your case, if you have one or not, you can go ahead and select what needs to be selected and then just hit continue. So here I'm prompted to verify my address, and what's important is that it's a verifiable address to which you can prove that you actually utilize and or live under. Linked, you can go ahead and click next. Essentially what Google is telling us is that if we wish to monetize our application on the Google Play Store, that our address that is linked to our developer account will be shown. Also, they are requiring that we provide an email in order to send issues concerning the technicalities of your app or user queries. So you can go ahead and input that, and then all you need to do is acknowledge and accept that Google will display your name and other information linked to your Google developer account. So now Google is essentially asking us to fill a form that is essentially about us as developers. This information that will be provided in this form will not be published, and the first part of the form is essentially about your experience with the Google Play Store and your overall Android development experience. The second part is whether or not you have other Google developer Play Store accounts. The third part is essentially if you have a website to provide. In this form is essentially asking us our plans concerning our app development journey with the Google Play Store. So the first question is the number of apps that we are planning to be producing in the next 12 months. Second question is essentially if we plan on earning or if we're planning to monetize our application. Then they essentially are asking us going forward if we plan on developing apps of certain categories, and essentially you get to pick and choose if the types of apps that you will likely develop in the future. Requested to provide information how you would like Google to contact you personally if something would come up. So essentially you provide contact name, email, preferred language of communications, and the contact phone number. Now the last thing to do before paying the $25 USD fee is to accept all Google Play Console terms and conditions. So we're going to go ahead and select all and then create account and pay. Finished, you will be informed that your developer account has been created on the Google Play Console, and then you will be invited through a button to go to the Play Console essentially. After you are done registering for a Google Play Console developer account, you'll be assigned a developer account, and this is the dashboard. So in order to finish setting up your developer account, you'll have three things that you'll still need to finish to do. So the first thing is to verify your identity. The second thing is to verify that you have access to an Android mobile device. And the third thing is to verify your contact phone number. Identity, you can either provide the driver's license, a passport, a national identity card, a residence permit. And for accepted documents to prove where you live are a government issued document or photo ID, a utility bill or phone bill, a bank statement, a lease or mortgage agreement. So go ahead and agree, and then you can start your verification. Invited to verify your identity, enter your legal name, the type of documents you wish to upload. You upload a front image and a back image of the document you wish to upload to Google, and then you enter in your address, and then you hit next. After you have uploaded a government issued ID and an item to prove where you live, this can take a few days. So in the meantime, we can head over to the second step to verify that you have access to an Android mobile device. To verify that you have an Android mobile device, you'll need to go to the Google Play Store and install an app that's called the Play Console app for Android. So you download that app, or you can directly scan this QR code and it'll enable you to download the app, and then you'll need to sign in with the same account you used to create your developer account. So finally, the last step is to verify your contact phone number. So let's do it. We are finished verifying that we have a Android device. We can go ahead and finish setting up our developer account by verifying our contact phone number. It mentions that they need a phone number essentially to contact us in case, and it will not be displayed on the Google Play Store, and we can either receive a code by text or receive the code through a phone call. And all we need to do is click here, go to account details in order to verify the phone number. We click this button here that says verify phone number via text, and then they'll be sending us a text with a 6-digit verification code. All we need to do is enter it here and then click verify. Our Google Play Console developer account is fully set up. On the dashboard, we are given the option to create our first app on the platform. So go ahead and click create app. To publish an app on the Google Play Store, once again, we are required to fill another form. So this is the form pertaining to the app we wish to publish. So you can go ahead and provide your app name, the language it is operating under, specify whether it's an app or a game, specify whether it's free or paid, and a bunch of declarations to abide by, and then you could go ahead and continue. So now that we created our app, we have to go through a bunch of processes in order to get it published on the Google Play Store. So the processes are pretty numerous. We'll be hitting them one by one, and essentially on the dashboard you'll see the main processes in order that Google recommends you to take them by, or you can directly navigate on the side nav here to select the process that you want to set up in order for your app to get published on the Google Play. Continuing to get our application published on the Google Play Store, I will circumvent this first process, which is internal testing, and go directly to the second process, which requires us to finish setting up our app. So I'll be going through all these steps right here, and let's start with the first one. Application approved by Google Play. You essentially need to set up a privacy policy web page that gives all the information relevant to your application. So you can paste the web page for the privacy policy right here, and just make sure you hit on all these points, such as information pertaining to user data, permissions and APIs that access sensitive information, and what have you. So after we set up the privacy policy web page, we can go ahead and work on the second facet of the process, which is the app access. So here essentially, in order for Google to be able to test your Android application, they'll need access to all of its pages. And some applications require login to access some particular pages. So you'll need to provide essentially login credentials to Google. That way they'll be able to test your app. Now, if your app doesn't require login, you can just specify to Google that your app doesn't require login, which is my case. So I can hit this. All functionality in my app is available without any access restrictions. If it's the contrary and it does require logins, hit all or some functionality in my app is restricted, and submit to Google your testing credentials. To continue configuring our app, we'll go to the ads configurations. So we are asked if our app contains ads. In my case, it's no. The next step is the content rating. We are going to answer to a questionnaire that essentially is going to be used by IARC. So IARC is essentially a international age rating coalition that has the capacity to rate apps in terms of the age groups that can use your app. So you can enter your email, the category your app operates under, and accept the terms and conditions, and then hit next. After your app has been rated, you can go ahead and go back to the dashboard and continue the process for the target audience configuration. Concerning the target age groups, go ahead and click next. Once you're done, go back to the dashboard and we can go to the next section relevant to the data safety. There is essentially assessing and questioning how your app essentially collects data from your users. The questionnaire, we are asked about the data types that will be shared and used or collected from the user. The type that our app will be collecting or using, we are going to be asked essentially why we are using this data for each data type that we use. So this form, you specify how the data that you're collected is used. So in my case, my data is collected and not shared with any third parties. And then they ask me if the data is going to be used ephemerally. Ephemerally means essentially that the data is going to be used in real time and then deleted. So in my case, yes. Then they ask us if the data is essentially required and if users have the capacity to not opt in to give this data. In my case, it is required. And finally, they ask for which reason such data is being used. In my case, it is for security reasons, so that's what I select. Once I'm done, I can save. Do this for all the data types that you collect from your users, and then hit next. Continuing progressing through the questionnaire, go ahead and disclose whether your app is a government app, whether it has financial features, and whether it has health-related features. Then once you're done doing these three, you can go ahead and go to this form right here where we'll be giving more information about the app. So more basic information about your app is requested here. So essentially the category, some tags, store listing, contact details such as email, phone number, and the app's website. And here whether or not you want your app to be marketed outside of Google Play. So to complete the last step of providing app information and creating the store listing, we can go ahead and set up our store listing. This form essentially to tell Google how your listing will look like on their Play Store. So you can go through inputs such as the app's name, the displayed short description, displayed full description, and then all of the graphics relevant to your application, such as your app's icon and what have you. After submitting the information needed for Google to show your listing on the Google Play Store, before it gets published on the platform, you need essentially to do what is called closed testing. In order to do closed testing, you'll need 12 active testers that will essentially test your application for 14 days before it is published on the Google Play Store in a mode that is called production. Okay, let's get started with closed testing. Select countries and regions. Seems a bit simple. All you need to do is select the countries, select the testers, then create a release, then essentially send the release for it to be reviewed by Google. So let's start with selecting the countries. So in this section, we are essentially going to list out all the countries where our test will be operational. So I go here to add countries and regions. Then I can essentially select the countries that I wish to add to my testing environment. Then when I'm done, I just hit save. Testing to occur, essentially you'll need to fill in this form. So the first step is to upload your app's bundles. So as you see here, I uploaded my .ab. Then you give it a release name. For the release notes, you put in the note that you wish to have. And then when you're done, you just hit next. So if your bundle has any errors, they will be displayed here. And if Google has any warnings for you concerning your bundles, they will be displayed here. So you can resolve these before you resubmit. Once you resolve these errors and warnings, you'll be able to save and continue. So I was having issues with uploading my bundle. The issue was essentially the bundle wasn't signed, so Google wasn't recognizing it. So I managed to make the AAB bundle signed, and I re-uploaded it on playgoogle.com, and it worked this time. So as you see here, it renders different information concerning my bundle, and now I'm essentially able to proceed. So I uploaded my bundle. I did some fixes. Essentially the first errors that I was getting was because my bundle wasn't signed, so I'll be making another video on how you sign your bundle before you submit it to Google. Otherwise it won't work. But essentially this time the error is concerning the permissions. If I go ahead and see right here to resolve the error, Google essentially tells me which permissions is problematic. In my case, it's the android.permission.manage external storage. Enter information in this form to essentially justify the reason why I am using this permission. So if you have any similar errors that pop up in your code bundle submission, you can fill in the form to justify why you're using such a permission, and then when you're done, just hit save. Used a permission, we can publish to Google essentially for a review. So that's what I did, and now I just go to the overview. So in this dashboard, it is essentially a summary of the changes that you have made to your app, and it'll summarize essentially all the requested reviews that have been sent to Google. So in my case, because it's the first time I'm sending the app to review, I have all these changes that need to be reviewed and approved by Google. But I do have an issue here, so let's see what it is. Before I can totally send the app for review, I essentially have to stipulate that I won't be using an advertising ID declaration. So I'll resolve this, and then when I'm done, I can essentially send the application for it to be reviewed by Google. And I'm finally ready to submit my application to Google for it to be reviewed and start the closed testing, hopefully. So I just click here, send 23 changes for a review. So it essentially says here that it'll be sent to Google and it'll take 7 days for them to review my app, probably less than 7 days. And it also mentions that I'll need to manually publish the app if Google approves the app. So I just hit send changes for review. So Google ran some quick checks before submitting it. Looks okay. And now it says your changes are now in review. We may find additional issues when reviewing your app. So I'll be waiting until they respond, and I'll let you guys know how it went. While our application is being reviewed by Google, I'll go ahead and submit the tester's email that will be testing our app in the closed testing environment. To do so, I simply go here and click create email list. I'm then given the option to give the list a name. I can then either input the emails one by one, or I can directly upload a CVS file. After we submitted the emails of the people that will be testing our application, we could go ahead and enter in a URL or an email address to where our testers will be able to send any errors or things they came by while testing our app. After you inputted that, you can go ahead and copy the link in order to send your testers for them to test your application. After we have set the list of emails that will be for the people that will be testing our application, we need to resubmit the changes for Google to approve once again. So I just reread the list of changes, which is I added the test list and I also added the contact for the testers. So once I'm done, I could just hit send 2 changes for review. Send changes for review. Google is running some quick checks before it sends the reviews. Now Google is ready essentially to review, and I'll keep you guys updated once it gets approved. So based off this reading on this page right here, it looks like the changes have been approved by Google. So the next step is essentially to wait for the testers to conduct the tests, and once they're done, Google will probably notify us that essentially the tests have been completed, and I'll keep you guys updated for the next step. Quick little update. So the app is currently under testing, and as you can see right here, we have 10 testers that are currently opted in. I'll keep you guys updated once the closed test is finished. I'm back. We are June 3rd. So essentially the closed test is finished and I'm ready to apply for production. Let's go ahead and apply for production. So when you apply for production, Google is gonna give you a form to fill in. So the questions are essentially how you achieve to do your test, and essentially it is about the types of reviews and the reviews that you got from your testers. So you can go ahead and provide Google all the information pertaining to your closed test, and then when you're done, just hit next. Okay, so now we have to fill the second part of the form, which is about who is the intended audience and how your app provides value to users, and also how many installs you expect to have on the first year of the app. Finally, for the last part about your form is essentially what you changed during your closed test for your app, and to explain at what point you decided that your app was ready for production. For production, so it says right here, we have your application for production access. We're reviewing your application form. We'll email the account owner with an update. This usually takes 7 days or less, but may occasionally take longer. So I'll update you guys once I get a response from Google and when my app is on production. Thanks. Hello, what's up guys? We are June 7th, so a little update. So from the last time when I applied to production, Google came back to me with a response, and essentially they did not approve my app to get into production. So I'll quickly read the notification, and your app requires more testing to access Google Play for production. We reviewed your application and determined that your app requires more testing before you can access production. Before applying again, continue testing your app following our guidance for gaining production access. So it doesn't say exactly why it didn't work out the first time. So I'm going to be trying new tests again, and I'll come back to you guys again once I get a new update. Hello guys, I just finished my second round of closed testing. Hopefully this time I'll be accepted. So I just click apply for production, and I essentially need to refill the same form that I did last time and reapply. I'll keep you guys updated for any news and when I'll be accepted. Alright guys, so I just reapplied, so I'll keep you guys updated when they respond, and hopefully this time they'll accept my submission. Instead of closed testing phase, we finally succeeded into doing the closed testing process. It says now, congratulations, your app has been granted Google Play Production Access. You applied for Google Play Production Access for your app. and this has now been granted. Production is where you make your app available to billions of users on Google Play. You can now also use open testing. So now essentially what we need to do is select countries and regions, create a new release, preview and confirm the release, send the release to Google for review, then finally publish the app on Google Play. Country selection process, I'm gonna keep it holistic and select all countries. Then once I'm done, I just hit save. Just hit none now, right now. Now we can proceed and create a new release. So under the release, just create a new release. I've in the past already uploaded some bundles, so I can just add them from the library. Click add from library. Select the bundle that you had previously already uploaded in the past. Once it's been selected, go ahead and click at the bottom right, add to release. Once your bundle has been uploaded from the library, go ahead and check these fields. I just made sure the fields were correctly filled. Go ahead and hit next. Alright, so at this point we can do a preview and confirm our release. So let's preview it. Essentially, we have a warning here that I'll ignore for now. We have some release delivery details. We have information about the bundle. And if you're okay with everything, you can go ahead and hit save at the bottom right. Okay, so I just hit save. Now it asks me go to publishing overview. I select go to overview. So before publishing, we essentially get an overview. So auto publish is set on off at the moment. If it's on, Google will publish the app automatically after the changes are reviewed. And then we get this table that essentially presents all the changes that are going to be reviewed by Google. So I essentially did a submission for production, which is labeled right here. It mentions all the countries that the app will be available in, and that I also added the capacity or the request to do open testing on these countries. So if I'm satisfied with the requested changes for the app, I can go ahead and make a submission to Google to make a review, after which the app will probably be available on the Google Play Store. So now they ask me send 3 changes for review. These changes will be sent to Google for review. Reviews are typically completed within 7 days, but may take longer. Manage publishing is off, so these changes will not be published automatically as soon as they're approved. Okay, I'm happy with this. I can click send changes for review. Running some quick checks here. Okay, so my app was just submitted for review. I'll keep you guys updated. Hey guys, quick update. So essentially after I did submit the app to the Google Play Store in order for it to be accepted in the Google Play Store, they responded essentially with some rejections from the update. So these rejections pertain essentially to the permissions my application uses, and Google deems it not necessary for the core functionality of the app for me to request such permissions. So essentially what I did was I submitted some appeals for both of these permissions that I needed to use for my app, and I'll keep you guys updated whether or not they accept the appeals or not. So for an update after the submission to be placed in the production, unfortunately, the app got suspended, and the reason was there were some discrepancies with the title of the app and the images and what have you. I did too many submits that got rejected sequentially, and so Google deemed that my app was essentially needed to be suspended. So I need to recreate a new app, refill the entire forms from A to Z, like I first did for the first app, and as you guys see on the screen, the app did get accepted this time after the closed testing. So as you can read in the message box, congratulations, your app has been granted Google Play production access. So this is good news, and just for the record, we are August 18th. So it took quite some time, and that is it for the video. I hope you guys learned something. And if you guys are in need of any type of IT work, you guys can check out my website at earnanswers.com. It'll be in the description section, and you guys can browse around and contact me essentially through the contact form or by email or the phone number if you're located in the right country. So with all that being said, take care, guys, and take it easy. Bye bye.